He wouldn't eat. My 5-year-old nephew sat at the table, staring at the pie he normally devoured. His small fists hid beneath the table, pressed tight against his lap. "I'm not hungry," he mumbled, eyes fixed on the plate. His father chuckled, raising his glass. "He's just being fussy." His mother's glare cut sharp across the table. "Don't make a scene." The laughter of relatives covered the silence, but I felt it. Something beneath the surface. A weight pressing into the room that no one else cared to notice. Later, I rose for water. He followed me, footsteps hesitant against the tile. When I turned, he was there, eyes red, voice breaking. "Uncle, help me, please. Mommy and Daddy." He lifted his hands, and I saw. Bruises where no child's hands should ever carry them. My throat tightened, not with tears, but with something colder. I carried the image of his hands with me back to the table. The chatter, the clinking glasses, the shallow laughter, it all blurred behind the storm forming in my mind. No one noticed me staring at the parents. The father's smug grin, the mother's sharp laugh. They looked untouchable, wrapped in their performance of domestic perfection. But the boy's words still echoed, "Help me, please." I watched how the mother's fingers dug into her wineglass, how the father leaned in too close when he whispered into her ear. A language of cruelty disguised as marriage. And in that instant I recognized something. Not just abuse, not just neglect, something deeper. A betrayal of blood. The boy's eyes didn't resemble his father's. His small frame didn't carry the same lines. And the way the father dismissed him, like an inconvenience, not a son, pulled the thought tighter into place. Infidelity. A hidden life. Lies stacked like cards waiting for collapse. The bruises were only the surface. The real wound was buried in truth they thought I'd never find. I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I smiled, raised my glass, and said nothing. The first rule, you never show your hand too early. The next weeks, I watched, quietly, strategically. I picked up the boy from school once. His teacher looked surprised. "Strange," she said. "His father rarely comes. Always the mother, or someone else." Someone else. I began digging. Phone records, late-night calls, unfamiliar numbers saved under false names. I knew what I was looking for, even before the pieces aligned. And then, the hospital visit. A slip in conversation. The pediatrician glanced at me, at the boy, then at the chart. His expression stuttered when I introduced myself as his uncle. "Ah," he said, clearing his throat. "You're the brother of—" He stopped himself. Corrected, changed the subject too quickly. I caught it, that pause, that flicker of knowledge he wasn't supposed to share. I ordered a DNA test, my own money, my own silence. Swabbed discreetly when I tucked the boy into bed. He thought it was a game. The waiting was the longest part. My outward calm never cracked, but inside was a storm of certainty tightening into inevitability. I already knew what it would say. The envelope arrived on a Wednesday morning. I sat at the kitchen table, the boy's laughter faint upstairs. I didn't hesitate. I opened it. The words were clinical, detached, but the meaning was a blade. He wasn't his father's son. The bloodline broken. The lie exposed. That night I returned to their house. Dinner again. Wine again. The performance. I waited until the plates cleared, until the laughter swelled. Then I slid the folded paper across the table. The father frowned, confused. He opened it, and his face drained. The mother's hand shot forward, grabbing, snatching, eyes widening in panic. "What is this?" I said nothing. The silence was the weapon. The truth did the rest. The father's fury turned not at me, but at her. His voice cracked, raw, as he demanded answers. She stuttered, broke, collapsed into excuses. I stayed composed. watching, cold, detached. The world they built was unraveling in front of me. When the shouting ended, I stood. "I'm taking him," I said, my voice steady. The mother's head snapped toward me. "You can't." I met her eyes. "You lost that right the moment you lied." The father's silence confirmed it. He didn't stop me. He didn't fight. He just stared at her with a hatred deeper than anything I could conjure. I walked upstairs, gathered the boy, his small hand slipping into mine. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. Downstairs, chaos tore the room apart. Accusations, curses, shattered glass. But none of it touched me. I had already won. Later, when the boy slept safely in my home, I sat in the dark. There were no tears, no relief, only clarity. The truth had been a slow poison in their marriage. I hadn't created it. I had simply uncorked the bottle and let it spread. They would destroy each other now, slowly, thoroughly, and I would raise the boy in silence, his small hands no longer hidden, his voice no longer trembling. Betrayal has many victims, but sometimes, if you are patient enough, it devours only the guilty. I poured a glass of water, sat back, and let the stillness settle. For the first time in years, I felt nothing, and nothing was enough.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.